Welcome to the Bounty Zero X podcast. I'm your host, Angelo Adam, founder and CEO of Bounty Zero X. Bounty Zero X is a decentralized bounty hunting network powered by the BNTY token. Today is May 29th, 2018, and my guest on the show is Raul Falquez. Raul is the overseas social media manager at Epiphany Exchange.io. Since his graduation, he's worked as a professional with more than 5 years of experience in digital marketing and managerial positions. His professionalism is backed by certifications from online platforms like MITx, Hootsuite, Google Analytics, and Udacity, where he received the required tools to become a proficient digital marketing manager. Being the co-founder of MySkills tech startup and his collaboration with companies like TechCode and Bayer has given him the experience and knowledge to become a leader in digital marketing strategies implementation. So, Raul, welcome to the show. And could you please tell me a little bit about Epiphany and the project you were working on with them?
Sure. Hi, Angelo. Thank you for the invitation. And Epiphany, it's a project. It's an exchange, a platform that we're building basically to solve some problems based on the inexperienced users, number one, and like creating a more friendly user experience, a more friendly user interface for users to trade in a more friendly environment as a whole. That's our main approach towards users, final users.
Nice. So how many members are there on your team right now?
Right now, we have about 50 members. We got the core team, which is the CEO, the directors of different areas, technology, business development, marketing. And we have about 20 IT developers, web developers, blockchain developers, the application user interface. So all that has to do with the technology itself. And then we have the business development and marketing team. We've been working on Epiphany since the beginning of this year. We're planning to have the platform ready in August. So we will launch the platform in August. And actually, we just had an airdrop about a week ago. And now we're going to build an application for cell phones because now the experience for users directly in their cell phones is not the best one. So we're finishing the mobile app. So for the next airdrop, they'll be able to have a much more friendlier experience.
So what would you say is the biggest differentiation between the exchange that you're in the process of building with Epiphany versus some of the existing major exchanges like Binance?
Yeah. So first of all, like I told you, we want to create this brokerage service. So this is going to be basically the way you use Twitter or Facebook when you follow someone, where you subscribe to someone's account or profile. So what we're going to do is that we're going to have our brokers that can be like very, very highly experienced brokers, or they can be like linked to an institution. And we're going to have like a rating system, and they're going to get a score of how well they trade, right? So you'll be able to follow their steps. If you want, you can contact them directly and do an agreement. Or if you want, you can just follow them. So you can set an amount of money a certain time, and you can follow their decisions, right? So if during that time they decide to invest in this coin or in the other coin, and then after 2 weeks they decide to cash out, you will automatically follow his steps for the amount of money that you set and for the time that you set. So what we're looking for here is to help the inexperienced users to have a more positive experience from the first day that they start trading, and not having that painful learning curve that sometimes makes someone lose their interest in cryptocurrency.
And you're building it on Neo, is that correct?
Yeah, we're building it on Neo because we're very focused in being compliant. And Neo is a perfect complement for compliant exchanges. We now have license as money transmitter in 8 states in United States. We're planning to get it in all states from the country. So we've been granted license by the SEC, and we are very focused in maintaining a compliant exchange to grant the security that users need to put their money and to invest in our platform.
And where are you based out of? Where's your headquarters and company?
We have offices in California and we have offices in Singapore. So we're working together. Our headquarters are in California, but we also have a big market in Asia. Being our directors Chinese, we have a great entrance to that market. So we also have our office here in Singapore.
So just going back to Neo for a second. So the exchange is going to be a decentralized exchange where it's all decentralized on smart contracts, or is the exchange going to be centralized?
It's somewhere in the middle. It's not completely centralized. It's not completely centralized. What we actually want to provide is a service where everyone can have a voice and a vote, but to maintain we still need a leader on the boat. We need someone needs to make the decisions, not being like 100% democracy. So we will have, especially for EPEN token holders, they'll be able to give their voice and their vote and make the decision with us, but there will still be some decisions that the platform will make by its own. And so, yeah, it's not one way or the other. It's somewhere in between.
And will you hold the wallets and keys for your token holders, or will they be held by not the token holders, but traders on the platform? Will you hold the keys to their wallets when let's say they register on your platform and they sign up and they create an account, and they'll be able to trade in a number of different cryptocurrencies, and they'll have a wallet on those cryptocurrencies. So a lot of the exchanges now, like Binance or, for example, or many other exchanges, there is a wallet where the private keys are held by that exchange. And then you withdraw tokens from the wallet that you have on the exchange to your own private wallet. Is Epiphany going to be more like that, or is it going to be more like when people trade on the exchange, they keep the funds in their own private wallets, and then they interact with a smart contract to place trades on the platform?
We will manage it separate. Users will keep their own private keys. They will have complete control of the wallets. We manage mostly cold wallets. We recommend people to having their wallets unlinked from the internet, so their assets are secure. And a lot of the main features that we offer are based on digital asset security. So we keep our backend and front end as separate as possible to provide that security to the digital asset.
I'm reading on your white paper that says that 73% of exchanges take custody of funds, whereas only 23% let users control the keys. And so based off of that statistic, the pretty significant majority of the exchanges take custody of user funds, but only 23% let users remain in control of the keys.
Yeah, it's one of the biggest problems in the current market. Exchanges are very centralized, and not just by the power that they have over the decisions that they make. Most exchanges do not ask for anybody's permission or opinion to do any decision that they feel they have to do. We want to change that. We want to first create a cluster of different platforms, different exchanges around the world that are compliant, and we will work together. We'll work together along with other businesses like the brokers institutions and EPN holders. So we want to create this community where we can all make decisions and take care of our users' interests. And the second problem about centralization is that, sometimes there's not much you can do about arbitrary decisions, like exchanges deciding they want to have access to their users' private keys. So that's something that we think that needs to be changed. And we will definitely be part of that small group that gives power to users over their own keys and their own digital assets.
Now, will you be able to trade cryptocurrencies that are non-Neo based or only Neo based cryptocurrencies on the exchange?
For now, in our platform, there'll be only Neo, but that's one of the advantages or the business that we are developing. So we don't want to be alone. We don't want to be just another business in this wide, big world. We want to partner up with other exchanges that are also compliant, that also follow our principles. So in the end, if you enter to either of these cluster of any of these platforms, you'll be able to trade any type of token or currency.
And so, what is that process going to be like for creating a cluster with other exchanges so that they can integrate together?
Yeah, so for example, now we are doing a lot of events, a lot of roadshows. We've had events in MIT, we've had events in Stanford University, in Amsterdam University, and in all these blockchain events that we organize, we usually present with other platforms. And these platforms that we've been working with, we'll partner up with them. There's nothing said yet. There's no official agreement that I could say, but all these platforms we're working with, and we hope to get to an agreement to create this cluster that I'm talking about.
And when users are on your exchange, will they be able to exchange fiat with crypto, or is it just crypto to crypto?
They can change fiat to crypto. Of course, it has to be, for example, if you're a US citizen, you will have to be in one of these states where we already have the license to do it, or if when we partnered with any other exchange, you'll have to belong to the region where they are compliant. But yeah, they'll be able to do it fiat to crypto. And especially in China, there are some agencies that, since exchanges cannot operate freely or directly with their users, there are some specialized agencies that create that bridge between users and exchanges.
So you'll work with like third-party providers for identity verification in order to onboard users who will then be able to exchange fiat onto the exchange.
Correct, especially for countries like China, where the situation for exchanges is very close. The laws are very strict, so there are other agencies and other paths that users usually take and that exchanges take to create that bridge, but at the same time not being completely anonymous, or not just, but having that registration process, that identification security.
So up until now, we've been focusing on the trading aspect of the project. And you mentioned also there's a couple other components. So you mentioned the brokerage system, but there's also the live news feed and C2C. So how do those four different projects within the Epiphany ecosystem work together? And maybe talk about whether they're all going to launch at the same time or if it's going to be a scaled approach where one is launched followed by another.
Yeah, so Epiphany as a project and as a company has different areas. The exchange will be the center of it, but there are many other services around it. Some of it is the news feed. We're gonna have some tutorials for new users to learn how to trade correctly, to learn how to take advantage of cross-platform trading. We're gonna have our brokers to make these tutorials to teach users how to take more advantage of the market. And there are also other projects that we're working on with banks, especially, but everything will be scalable. It's not gonna be all coming out at once. We believe that first we gotta make ourselves experts in one area, create the best platform that we can. And on top of that, once we already start getting users and we correct any mistake that we may have, then we start bringing up all the other services.
So will the first service be the trading platform, or will they all be released together, and what order will they be released in?
The first will be the trading platform, definitely. And actually, our roadmap is up so far. What we've published is by the end of this year, and it all focuses on the platform. After next year, 2019, and in the future, we'll publish future dates for future service.
So the Epiphany supernodes will be an interesting aspect of the project. Can you comment on what the supernodes are and what role they play?
The supernodes are basically the cluster that we talked about. So it's EPN holders and strategic partners like other exchanges and brokerage institutions that will take part in Epiphany's decisions, main decisions. So for example, once an institution or a person or whoever holds a certain amount of EPN tokens will be able to become a supernode. And by this, he will have access to one of the executive seats and he'll be able to be part of decision makings in the platform for the future of the ecosystem.
And so one of the things that someone will be able to do if they're a supernode is obtain a local license that allows exchange of digital assets. So is that when you say that someone can become a supernode and they can engage in certain actions? So one of them could be getting local licenses to be an exchange in a certain jurisdiction?
Correct. So if a supernode is another exchange and they want to get a license to operate in United States, for example, they'll be able to do it either through our platform or we'll work together to get the license for that particular exchange. And then if it's another institution or person, then that will be a longer process because either they do it through our exchange or if they want to have their own exchange, then that's a longer process. But yeah, the main idea behind this is that once they are a supernode, we both share the benefits of each other, right? So if we are complying in a certain country, they'll be able to operate in that country through us or with our assistance, and the same way around. If they are compliant in another country, then we will be able to work through them also.
And there will be 21 supernodes selected to be part of the executive board. And then how many tokens does one need to become a supernode?
Yeah, so the number of seats of the supernodes for now is 21. It may vary in the future. It's not written on a stone. It's not completely fixed. And as for the amount of EPN, is the same. Right now, we're still working on partnerships. So depending on how that goes, we'll set together the whole ecosystem. When we start together, we'll make a decision on how many EPN is needed to become a supernode.
So what will be the fees associated with trading on the platform? How does the token that you guys are issuing play a role in that? So if you have more of the tokens, do you get a discount on trading fees?
So yeah, the users, the EPN holders will have a discount in the trading fees. The normal fee is of 0.2%, but for EPN holders, they can get from 50% discount to 5%. So it depends on the amounts, on the time that they've been trading. It has several factors, but it can go up to 50% discount for trading fees.
So the trading fees vary depending on how many tokens you have. So if you have more tokens, then the trading fees would potentially be lower.
Yes, but that's not the only factor. It would also vary by the year. So at the beginning, when you start trading, you can get a certain discount. 3 or 4 years after, that rate may vary also depending on your time, not just on the amount of EPN that one holds.
And going to the brokers, so we've talked about the brokers playing a role in the ecosystem where traders will be able to follow a broker and essentially take part in the same trades that the brokers take part in. The brokers will have a track record showing the profitability of the trades that they've taken. And then users will be able to follow them. And how will the brokers earn fees from that? So will they be incentivized, or will they earn any amount of money as a result of having a large number of traders who follow their strategies?
Yeah, they'll be incentivized by us, by the platform, and they will also be just like a normal broker. They'll get commission depending on the amount that they are trading on behalf of a second or third party. So depending on the amount, on the gain that he earned, he will get the commission, and he'll also get an incentive from our part. So actually right now, our BD manager, Nicole Wan, she's in New York, and we're closing our first trade, our first brokers, because once the exchange is online, we plan to have at least 10 high quality and highly experienced brokers already online, ready to work. So we are now negotiating with them how is our agreement going to work. But yeah, so hopefully in the next weeks we'll be able to make an official announcement of several brokers who might start working with us.
So are these brokers just individuals, or are they actual companies? Or can you speak to the nature of the brokers on the platform?
Yes, so there are two types of brokers. One is institutionals. So those can be companies who have their own professional brokers working for the company, and we can work directly with the company. But or they can be individuals who have a lot of experience in brokerage service and they have a brokerage license. But it can also be regular people who have been trading for a long time, who have big volume of trades, and who have a very good record of their trades. So it's not restricted to institutions. So any person who can prove a certain experience and capacity to trade can become also a broker. That's what we call high net worth brokers.
And your platform will rank the brokers by their profitability and their performance, or how will that work?
Yeah, correct. So there'll be several factors. There'll be their volume, how much are they moving, how much digital assets and money they're moving, and how much they have gained, how is their winning losing rate, right? So you will have to have a high winning rate in order to be considered a broker, and then you have to compete against other well recognized brokers to get the user's attention. But yeah, so it will have several factors so we can provide the best security. So we cannot, of course, guarantee that if you follow a broker, you will earn money. We cannot guarantee that, but we want to make you feel as safe as possible by having a very strict scoring system.
Yeah, that makes sense. That sounds like a great idea. I know a lot of people would like to use something like that, I'm sure.
Yeah, that's the idea. We feel that even though every time there are more and more people getting into cryptocurrency, and if they don't know all the platforms, it's really difficult to get there. It takes a lot of YouTube tutorials. It takes a lot of reading. So
Yeah, so the token will be sold in the token sale, and there'll be an angel investor round, which from what I understand, has already taken place, and then there'll be a Series A round, followed by a Series B round. Will there be any public token sale, to just non-institutional investors, or will it be only a private?
for now, we're not going to have an ICO. We're not going to have an initial coin offering, meaning that our tokens are not for sale to the public until the platform is online. The reason is because to get the license from the SEC, we cannot do it. We cannot sell our token as if it was a security token. So the moment that we can actually start selling is the moment when we have something to give back to our users that they can use, such as a token to use our brokerage services or our token to easily trade in our platform. So for now, we're not going to have an ICO. This is a question that we get asked a lot by the users. And yes, unfortunately, this is the situation, but it's for the best because by the end of the day, we stay compliant and we can continue to offer that security to the users that they're trading in a safe platform.
Okay, great. So is there, for users, there's going to be a total of 500 million EPN tokens that are created. And how will those tokens be obtained once the trading platform is activated and there's a use for it in the ecosystem? How will you start to distribute those tokens to community members?
So the tokens will be available for sale for anyone after the platform is online. We have a 70% of tokens that will be sold to partners and to other possible partnerships and exchanges and Supernode before the launch of the platform. After that, the remaining 30% and any other percentage that may have not been sold in the pre-sale, we will put it in the platform for people to acquire. And then every quarter, every 3 months, we will use 20% of our revenues to buy back tokens from secondary market, meaning that we're not saying like, hey, we have this amount of profit that we want to share with you and we'll use it by buying back your tokens. We'll go directly to tokens that we can with that amount of money. With that, control the inflation of the token. So we'll try to keep the price high. And at the same time, we are increasing the demand, which will also create like a mini boom for price. So what we're trying is every 3 months to create this mini boom, right? Which will make the price go higher and then maintaining it up there by diminishing the amount of tokens that are offered in the market.
So the upcoming dates are for a launch of the Supernode trading platform in mid-August. So as of now, that's around 2.5 months. And then what are some of the other big upcoming dates that you guys have lined up?
Yeah, so probably in the next 2 weeks, we'll have our mobile application. So that's going to be something really much more comfortable for users. Like I said before, we had our first airdrop and just a couple weeks ago, and we're going to have another one in a couple weeks once the mobile app is available. It's going to be great. We have a lot of very dynamic tasks and exercises that people can do in order to earn EPN. So we think that's going to create like a big buzz because just the first airdrop that we did was really successful. We got over 8,000 users in about 3 weeks. So after with this new, much more user-friendly experience and much more dynamic sort of activities, I think we can get much more users. And then the second would be the launch of the platform, which will be in August, and we're gonna have also our presentation and launching of the product at MIT. And yeah, for this year, I think those are the two biggest launches and dates for the regular user.
And you mentioned that there will be some tasks that users will be able to do in the upcoming weeks or months in order to obtain the tokens. So you had an airdrop. What other types of tasks will you have available for them to get tokens?
Yeah, so these are very easy tasks, but that help us create a buzz. So, for example, we have all our social networks in the linked to the mobile app, so you can like or follow directly any of our social networks directly from the mobile app. You can get a small amount of EPM for doing that. There are certain articles that we're very interested in getting spread around, like the articles explaining how the brokerage service works, or new partnerships that we're doing, or the blockchain events that we're having all over the world. So we'll put those articles week by week, and the more that you share, the more engagement that you have with those articles, you can also get some EPN. So they're very easy tasks that people can do, but that can help us a lot create a buzz around our project, which is what we want. We just want everybody to know what we're doing. We want to get people excited. We want to get people to sign up. We want to get people to feel attracted of our platform, our activities, acquiring our tokens. And on our side, we'll do our job on getting the best partnerships possible to just deliver a great service and a great product.
Sounds good. So is there anything else that you wanted to touch on that we haven't discussed yet? Any other portions of the platform that be important to discuss that we haven't yet addressed?
Well, I just would like to stress the fact that we're thinking a lot and we're working a lot on how to make this platform really, really secure. We're working on a very strict risk control for our users. We will perform risk control before, during, and after all transactions. Also, we're going to use smart contracts to help people feel more safe. It just takes a few searches in Google to realize how many scams, how many thefts have been going on since the born of cryptocurrencies and exchanges. And we're really stressing on that because we think that for this practice to really become mainstream, people need the trust. People need to trust in the system. They need to trust in the security procedures that exchanges and companies are doing. And we're really working on delivering that trust to the people. So one of our main slogans, so to say, is that just like NEO is a smart economy, we are trying to build a trustworthy economy.
Sounds good. Yeah. I wish you the best of luck in that. And I think that you guys are making a lot of progress and seems like you're well on your way to achieving that goal so far.
Yes, thank you. We're working very hard to achieve it.
Yeah, I know it must be very exciting, and wish you the best of luck with everything in the coming months. I'm sure it'll be very successful.
Yes, thank you. Thank you very much. And to all our listeners, don't forget to join our bounty campaigns in Bounty 0x.
Yep. All right. So my guest on the show today has been Raul Falquez. Raul, thank you for joining us and talking about Epiphany. It was great talking to you, and we'd love to have you back on the show.
All right. Perfect. Thank you, Angelo. Have a great day.
Thanks for listening to another episode of the Bounty 0x podcast. Please remember to subscribe to our podcast below. Check out bounty0x.io, the #1 bounty hunting platform where you can complete work and earn cryptocurrency. Please consult your professional financial investment and tax advisors before making any investment in initial coin offerings. Bounty 0x does not provide investment or financial advice and does not endorse or recommend investment in any ICOs advertised on the Bounty 0x podcast or website.